The Color of Death, the hidden tragedy behind Van Gogh's genius. The myth of the mad genius, Vincent van Gogh. His name evokes swirling colors, burning sunflowers, and the tragic image of the artist who cut off his ear. For over a century, the official story has simplified his suffering into the narrative of the mad genius, a man consumed by an inexplicable psychosis. This perspective, based on posthumous diagnoses like epileptic fits and delirium, ignores a fundamental question. What if the astonishing coherence and evolution of his work, even during his crises, was not just a miracle of the mind, but a tragedy of the physical body? Today, it's crucial to look past the psychological diagnoses and consider a rigorous theory that directly connects Van Gogh's artistic practice with his physical illness, lead poisoning, or Saturnism. The dark side of the palette, Saturnism, chronic lead intoxication, emerges as the most solid hypothesis to explain Van Gogh's physical and mental health issues. The cause lies at the very heart of his art. His distinctive impasto technique led him to use pigments with a high lead content. The most notorious lead white and the vibrant chrome yellows, both highly toxic. Lead toxicity accumulates progressively in the body. How could a painter absorb this poison daily? Historians explain, Van Gogh was known to be messy in his studio, with paint residue on his hands, tools, and even in his beard. Accidental ingestion is the main route. Reinforcing this idea, his self-portraits show him smoking a pipe. And there is the possibility that he put the brush in his mouth to sharpen the tip, a common practice at the time. X-ray analyses by the National Gallery in London have confirmed the massive use of these lethal pigments. The tragic correlation, art and illness. The most shocking aspect of this theory is the near-perfect correlation between the symptoms Van Gogh documented in his letters and the clinical effects of Saturnism. In Antwerp, he complained of severe gingivitis, dental pain, and progressive tooth loss, a classic symptom of lead deposition in the gums, known as the Burton line. He also experienced chronic abdominal pain, described in his letters as a stomach discomfort, which is medically known as lead colic. Visually, the poisoning was evident. Van Gogh described his own appearance in his self-portraits as discolored and with an ashen tone. The clinical signature of lead anemia, which causes extreme pallor and weakness. But the most severe complication and the key to his madness is lead encephalopathy, encephalopathia saturnina. This condition is directly responsible for the neuropsychiatric symptoms attributed to him: psychomotor crises, delirium, hallucinations, insomnia, and aggressive behaviors. His madness wasn't just a psychological phenomenon, it was a tragic physiological consequence. His technical innovation led to progressive intoxication, which in turn caused the physical and psychiatric pain that marked his final years. The legacy that transcends pain. The end of Van Gogh's life was the tragic climax of this chemical battle. His suicide in July 1890 at the age of 37 can no longer be simplified as a mere act of madness, but as the inevitable result of incessant suffering, a pain intensified by lead toxicity. Nevertheless, his art is the bridge to the 20th century. Van Gogh became a pillar of post-impressionism, a movement that reacted against the ephemeral vision of the Impressionists to seek a more personal expression. While Paul Cézanne focused on structure, laying the foundation for Cubism, Van Gogh centered on feeling and the expression of his inner world, a path that made him the direct and fundamental precedent of Expressionism. Artists like Edvard Munch and Henri Matisse acknowledged his influence, as Van Gogh showed them the power of transforming the canvas into a mirror of the human soul, where color doesn't imitate reality, but screams emotion. The light in the darkness. The life of Vincent van Gogh is a powerful paradox. The poison that killed him fed the colors that make him immortal today. His legacy resides not only in his masterpieces, but in the honest and unfiltered message that art can be a radical translation of the human experience. His journey, although marked by immense loneliness, was sustained by the loyalty of his brother Theo. In the end, Van Gogh's creativity ignited a light that endures through generations, consolidating his status as an eternal symbol of passion and truth. Money explainers.